Survivor, the greatest reality show in the history of television, filled with social maneuvering, strategic manipulation, and some of the most amazing challenges you have ever seen.
Poverty working Stephanie over!
In this new school era of Survivor, most of the challenges we see are repeated season after season, leaving not much experimentation to try new things or even bring back old school classics. Today we'll be breaking down 10 Survivor challenges that need to come back, and we are joined by the Survivor geek to break it all down. While we're going through the challenges, make sure to keep track of everything you agree with and let me know down in the comments. Number 10. The first challenge that comes to mind that needs to come back is also the first ever final immunity challenge, hands on a hard idol. This challenge has been seen on 4 separate occasions in the old school era of Survivor, with Borneo, Africa, Marquesas, and All-Stars, meaning the last time we saw this challenge was May 9th, 2004, when Boston Rob won it against Jenna Lewis and Amber. I don't know what it is about those endurance challenges that make them feel so epic and on a grander scale, especially in this case with hands on a hard idol. The challenge is so simple, and yet the simplicity adds to the excitement, with Richard Hatch adding a layer of strategy into its very first appearance, dropping out on purpose so he wouldn't be forced to vote Rudy out of the game.
Number 9, we have Sumo at Sea. For me, this challenge is a Survivor classic. It's tough, it's in your face, and so many of the castaways that have competed in it are Survivor icons. Unfortunately, the last time we saw it was in San Juan del Sur, and I fear that it may never come back because it has a high risk of injury.
Go on your own call now. Venus trying to take advantage. One of the biggest unsportsmanlike moves.
Number 8, the Survivor auction. Look, when the conversation comes up regarding Survivor challenges that fans want to see return, somewhere in that conversation, people are always going to be bringing up the Survivor auction. It's fun, it's a little break from the cutthroat game of Survivor, as the Survivor wiki describes it as an event that occasionally appears in Survivor. Well, they should change that to an event that was retired from Survivor. Appearing in 16 seasons total and last appearing in Survivor Worlds Apart, the Survivor auction became broken when players would wait till the very end of the auction to bid on an advantage in the game.
Black is the advantage. Tony draws black. Woo! $500 gets you this, an advantage in the game. $500 gets you a white rock.
The game simply got way too meta, as Sharon knew the rules behind the letters from home, being whatever the winning bid was, anyone else could trade in that money for their own letter.
More valuable than an advantage?
You guys, in the past, whatever the highest bid ended up being, Jeff let everybody else buy it for that high bid.
Crazy revolutionary idea. Jeff Probst tells the players before the auction that there'll be no advantages and no letters from home. Boom, just some innocent auction fun. I really want to have an excuse to talk more Survivor auction nonsense, as I always used to love this part of the season. If this video gets 300 likes, I'll make a dedicated Survivor auction video.
At number 7, we have Slip, Slide, and Score. This is another popular video on my channel, and it's not surprising with how fun this one is. We get to see the castaways look completely awkward as they slip around, and every once in a while, someone will stand out and make it look easy. We haven't seen this challenge since Cambodia, and I would love to see it back.
Drivers ready. Go. The more speed, the further you will go. Russell not messing around.
Number 6, and possibly the most bizarre challenge on this list, and one you've probably forgotten about. We need to bring back hanging by a thread from Survivor Fiji. This final immunity challenge is once again endurance based and requires castaways to lie on a platform over a pool holding a handle, while at the same time water is spilled over a barrel over their heads.
Earl cannot hang on any longer. Earl is the second person out of the challenge.
Starting at a 35-degree angle, it would increase by 5 degrees every 5 minutes. Outside of Survivor, I'm also a huge fan of American Ninja Warrior, and this challenge gives me very similar vibes with the grip strength involved.
Skip and runs and he's back at it. With the speed and power.
Cassandra and Earl would fall out quickly, leaving just Yowman and Dreams remaining, where Dreams would ultimately win the challenge, causing a controversial moment to follow.
Part of the bargain you made with Yowman. The first part was you would do your best to win. The other part was, if you did win, you would give it to him.
At number 5, we have Coconut Bowling. This challenge has only been used twice, and they were both in Samoa. That is, during the Samoa season, and again in Heroes vs. Villains.
Poverty, give it a go.
Get her ball, get her ball. All right.
Gutter ball for the villain.
This challenge is quite different than your typical Survivor challenge, but surprisingly, it has been one of the most popular videos on my channel.
Insane, both seasons with Survivor Bowling also included Russell Hantz. And if you don't know, Russell is my arch nemesis, and I truly believe there's only enough room for one Russell here in the Survivor YouTube community. If you're enjoying this video so far, hey, please consider subscribing and helping me reach my goal of passing Russell Hantz in subscribers. Number 4, only ever appearing in Survivor Millennials vs Gen X, I would love to see Pinball Wizard return. I'm sure the remnants of this challenge can be found somewhere on the beaches of Fiji, so it wouldn't be too hard to bring back. What I love so much about Pinball Wizard is the added layer of thinking and strategy that goes into being successful at it. Players are forced to multitask between solving a puzzle and dropping a ball through a pinball machine. The only issue is if the ball accidentally drops to the very bottom of the pinball machine, you have to wait a painfully long time to continue to work on the puzzle.
The ball drops. Before you catch it, there is a time penalty as the ball slowly makes its way to the bottom.
At this point in the game, Adam Klein didn't need to win the challenge, he just needed to make sure Jay didn't win the challenge, adding to one of Peridium's famous Survivor challenge hacks.
What Adam did here was abandon his puzzle and focus solely on helping his ally Ken stay alert on the location of his ball.
At number 3, we have Last Gasp. This challenge is like a train wreck that I cannot look away from. Whenever I watch this one, I constantly have to remind myself that I'm not underwater and it's okay for me to breathe. Let's just say I get pretty involved from the comfort of my couch. We haven't seen this challenge for over 10 years as it was last on the Caramoan season.
There go the legs. And she's back in it. Andrea's still in it, still fighting.
Number 2, another old school classic I would love to see return with Survivor touchy subjects. First appearing in Survivor the Amazon, the players would first fill out a questionnaire about the tribe in private, then Jeff Probst would tally all the results together, and then the challenge would officially begin where the players would have to guess what the most popular answer to the questions would be. Every time you get an answer right, you would strike down at another player, and after 3 strikes their voodoo doll would be destroyed and they're out of the challenge. This was always good for creating drama between players, however I don't think Jet Probst will ever let it return after a version of it was broken in Survivor San Juan del Sur when the players started to throw the challenge.
Is this going to be a friendly, we're just going to see how this goes between the 5 of you for the rest of this challenge?
Yeah, probably.
So. Why are we wasting our time?
Last but certainly not least, at number 1, we have Wait and See. This is another challenge that is very popular on my channel. More than anything, I love the floating puzzle at the end of this one. I'm really into challenges that require physicality, a good head on your shoulders, and especially teamwork, and this puzzle had it all. This is the only time we've ever seen this puzzle on Survivor, and I would love to see it back at some point.